Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express, the important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 7th of August. The first important news, that is Prime Minister launches Revamp Amrit Bharat station. Second, that is revised good manufacturing practice rule for the drug manufacturer. This is from the explain page of the Indian Express. Third, that is monetary policy. RBI likely to maintain the status quo. RBI is very soon planning to release the part of details with the MPC meeting. So this is also from the explain page. Second last, that is endemic bird of India report. A survey was conducted. So we'll see the details. And the last is an editorial, the bureaucracy as a prosecutor and the judge. So this is with regard to the Jan Viswas bill, which was recently passed by the parliament. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin this session, if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful for examination purposes, do hit that like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is Prime Minister launches Revamp Amrit Bharat stations. Something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is infrastructure, energy, ports, road, air and railways. And also this particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2, where government policies and intervention are mentioned in the syllabus. So in a significant move of development, specifically अगर बात करें rail infrastructure की, Prime Minister has laid the foundation stone for the ambitious redevelopment of 508 railway station across the country. The number is 508, which is again pretty on the higher side. And to be noted, this is a redevelopment program. There will be no development from scratch. There will be no new field, or you can say the green field that will be there. So it will be a redevelopment, more of kind of a brownfield projects that will be, right? Now this monumental endeavor falls under the Amrit Bharat station scheme that comes under the hefty price tag over 24,470 crore rupees from the exchequer. So if it is asked in examination कि कौन से स्कीम के अंदर ये डेवलपमेंट की जा रही है, the answer would be Amrit Bharat station scheme. I'll give you the brief about this scheme as well. So what is Amrit Bharat station scheme? Directly relevant for your prelims examination, and even if you're writing in mains, you can highlight the important significant point as well. So Amrit Bharat station is a comprehensive approach to the station redevelopment, which signify the part of significant step in India's infrastructure development and extend contribution significantly to country progress. उसके अलावे इस स्कीम में this particular scheme envisioned for the development of stations and continue basis for the long-term vision. So the development will be calling for the vision, which is in the longer term, and even call for a holistic development where livelihood options and opportunities are also provided. It aims to prepare a master plan where railway stations and the implementation of the master plan in the phase will enhance certain facilities. और कुछ key proposals रखे गए हैं अमृत भारत स्टेशन स्कीम के अंदर, which call for the provisions of rooftop plazas for many other things like eateries, restaurants, the part of shoppings, and even the center for entertainment. That everything will be there at the longer platforms to have better catering of the passengers, 5G connectivity to provide better connectivity, and blast less tracks will be there, right? So these are some of the features that is a part for the Amrit Bharat station scheme. Now, what are the significance of this move? See, the regeneration, or you can say the redevelopment of these railway station is poised to revolutionize the part of railway infrastructure. Definitely जो रेल की infrastructure है उसको एक boost मिलेगी, and even aiming to enhance the part of ease of living for citizen while prioritizing the comfort and convenience. Now notably, each station design is meticulously crafted to harmonize the part of local culture, heritage, architecture, reflecting the blend of modernity and tradition. So state of art technology in terms of infrastructure, in terms of facilities will be provided. Now, distributions of railway stations की अगर बात करें, as I've told you at the beginning, that a total of 508 railway station will be there. इस 508 में 27 states and union territories will be included. तो कुछ states की बात करें जिसमें कितनी stations को रीजनरेट या फिर redeveloped करनी है. For Uttar Pradesh, we have 55 stations that has marked for the redevelopment. Like Bihar goes for 49 states, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh contribute a significant number to this initiative. उसके अलावा जो और states include किए गए हैं in this 50 stations include the states like Assam, Odisha, Punjab, Gujarat, Telangana, Jharkhand, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Karnataka. They're said to be benefited from this transformative project. So accordingly, if these development complete within that stipulated time, it will call for a lot more advantages to the passenger, ensuring the state-of-art facilities. Now moving ahead with other news, that is revised good manufacturing practices rule for the drug manufacturers or the drug firm, important for general studies paper 2, issues related to development and management of health. Now, recently, the government of India has directed all pharmaceutical companies in the country to implement the revised GMP, that is the part of goods manufacturing practices, right? This is very important because in the recent time, companies from India has been alleged with a part of manufacturing, जिसकी वजह से बहुत सारे ऐसे कंट्रीज हैं अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज में डेथ रिपोर्ट दी गई थी और कफ के सिरप्स में कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स पाई गई थी, राइट? So now government is looking forward with a par global standard and even WHO has highlighted कि जो इंडिया के मैन्युफैक्चरर्स थे कफ सिरप के, they have not met the standard. Now government is very strict on this part. They will be implementing the part of GMP. Now this particular topic is also important for general studies paper 4, specifically for ethics. आपसे केस स्टडी में भी सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं. You can add this folder point about the GMP, right? And even for general studies paper 3, paper 2, वहाँ पे भी काफी relevant है. Now large companies, government ने instructions दी हैं कि जो large companies होंगी with a turnover of 250 crore rupees has been asked to implement the changes within 6 months. उनको 6 month के अंदर ये जो गवर्नमेंट की रूल है उससे इम्प्लीमेंट करनी होगी. And the companies having turnover less than 250 will get 1 year, right? Complete 1 year to implement the part. जो भी गवर्नमेंट ने recently policies बनाई है उनको implement करने के लिए they will be provided some time and flexibility. Now this come at the time when India is promising itself with a global manufacturing hub for the generic medicine. We are the world's largest manufacturers. And according to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the implementation changes would be implemented from 1st of August 2023. That means it has been implemented from this month onwards. Now some basics about GMP, how does it actually functions? तो GMPs की अगर बात करें कुछ important criteria meet करनी होती है. First is to ensure the part of productions. Then we have quality control, complaints and production recall. Self-inspection is mandatory. Outsource activity has to be looked upon. Pharmaceutical quality system, personnels, premise and equipments and documentation. So these all together comprises the part of GMP. Now reasons for the improved standard, क्यों गवर्नमेंट ने इस स्टैंडर्ड को रिलीज किया है and they have been incorporating this. The foremost reason is the implementation of the new norm that was aimed to bring Indian industry as a part with the global standard. जो global standard across world developed countries में follow की जा रही है उस standard को maintain की जा सके. And in the recent time, as I've told you, बहुत सारे ऐसे cases report किए गए हैं. Indian manufacturers, syrup, eye drops and eye ornaments were something that was reported alleged with the contaminations. Death of 70 children were there in Gambia, 18 children in Uzbekistan, and these 3 personnel from United States, 6 that were from Cameroon that has been linked to this product. तो ये 3 products में इतनी सारी deaths report की गई हैं बहुत सारे countries में, which has caused a concern. Now rest-based inspection for 162 manufacturing units by the government will be again taken into consideration. और income raw materials की अगर बात करें, that will be tested. Some of the things that need to be taken into considerations call for product quality being reviewed, not being reviewed. These are the regions. Absence of quality failure investigation. तो ये कुछ ऐसे कारण है, these are the reasons why it has not actually functions well, right? So third is the infrastructure reasons to prevent the contaminations were there. Faulty designs in the manufacturing and testing areas, missing qualified professionals, and poor documentation were some of the possible reason that has led to such quality deteriorations and contaminations in the medicines. Now, purpose of this rule, as I've told you, is to ensure the quality and the level of standard which is there. Apart from that, it will improve the standard that will ensure that the pharmaceutical company in India follow the standard of quality control and do not cut corners in improving the quality of the medicine which is actually exported globally. In addition, it will have a quality of the drugs domestic market के लिए भी. उसके अलावे जो 8,500 मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट्स हैं, दे आर नॉट WHO GMP सर्टिफाइड सर्टिफिकेट्स, तो उनके लिए WHO की GMP सर्टिफिकेशंस जो हैं वो भी मैंडेटरी होंगी. Now the major changes that has been brought in, the part of the revised GMP guideline focus on quality. This is the foremost priority. Apart from that, major documentation will be there and IT-backed quality medicine procurement or procedures will be followed. The new guideline introduced the part for pharmaceutical quality system, quality check management, product quality review and validations of the equipment. उसके अलावे companies will have to carry the regular quality review of all its product. It will also suggest the changes that has to be evaluated and may affect the product quality. The guideline also states that the company should have GMP related computerized system which ensure no tampering of the data during the processing. Now moving ahead, monetary policy, RBI likely to maintain the status quo. Very soon RBI is expected to come up with the reports or the details of the MPC. So this is important for General Studies paper 3, that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. So the Reserve Bank of India 6-member monetary policy committee will meet by 8th of August, that is tomorrow, and it is expected that the policy rate will remain unchanged for the third consecutive time. तो ऐसी anticipations है कि इस बार भी RBI किसी तरह से जो repo rates हैं उसमें change नहीं करेगी. This will be maintaining at 6.5. Now there have been concerns regarding the part of CPI. अगर consumer price index की बात करें, there has been inflationary pressures. और कौन से ऐसे आर्टिकल है जिनकी वजह से इन्फ्लेशन हो रही है? फर्स्ट इज अबाउट द प्राइस राइज ऑफ द वेजिटेबल्स wholesome. If you see one example that I can quote is the price of tomato. It is taking a toll. For many metropolitan cities, it is costing none less than 250 to 300 rupees a kg, depending upon the cities. And tier 2 and tier 3 cities is costing 200 rupees, right? So central bank ने ये सारी चीजों को ध्यान में रखी है, and they will be looking into important aspects so that the price stability should be maintained. And in June only, the central bank has left the repo rate unchanged to 6.5%. Now, will RBI extend the pause in August? This is what has been actual anticipation लगाई गई है, but analyst कैसा मानना है that this committee will keep the things unchanged because we are looking for an hawkish guidance. In hawkish guidance, basically बहुत ही strict policy अपनानी होती है to control the inflation part. Apart from the vagaries arising from the monsoon, और भी ऐसे कुछ कारण हैं जिसकी वजह से भी prices में variations आई है. If you see the international crude oil prices, it has also led to the problem. And even जो supply कट की गई है OPEC country से, OPEC stand for the Organization for Petroleum Exporting Countries, उस वजह से जब पेट्रोल की प्राइसेस बढ़ेगी, अल्टीमेटली उसकी जो इम्पैक्ट है वो फूड में दिखेगा. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट गेट हायर, देन अल्टीमेटली इट हैज टू बी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड अमंग द फूड आइटम्स ओनली. The RBI move is extended to pause the August policy, and when it comes to the major part, US Fed की रिजर्व्स की अगर बात करें और उनकी पॉलिसी रेट चेंज होती है तो कुछ ना कुछ इम्पैक्ट इंडियन रिजर्व बैंक में भी देखी जाती है, पॉलिसी मेजर्स में भी उसे इनकॉर्पोरेट की जाती है. Now, inflation forecast की बात करें, for June it was for the financial year it was projected around 5.1, then gradually it was for 5.2. July की अगर बात करें, this range up to 6 to 6.8, further from 4.8%. And some economists believe that RBI will keep the inflation projection upward only because of the monsoon not favorable and the part of the crude oil higher prices because of the less affordability and the less part of the supply which is there from the OPEC countries. Now, change in the lending and deposit rates की भी बात की गई. In case RBI maintain the status quo, there will be no change in the external benchmark rate, that is EBLR. And linked to the repo rate, the relief will be given to the borrower, जहाँ पे EMIs will not rise and even the percentage will not increase. However, the borrower's loan can link to the MCLR, that is marginal cost of fund based lending rate, may see some upward revision, which will be again on the minimal side. Now moving ahead, Endemic Birds of India report, something important for general studies paper 3, that is conservation, environmental pollutions, degradation and EIA. So recent publications by the Zoological Survey of India point out that 5% of the birds found in the country are endemic and not reported in any part of the world, right? Publications ने 75 endemic of birds, जो 75 endemic birds पाए जाते हैं इंडिया में, उसके बारे में रिपोर्ट रिलीज की है. This was released on 108th foundations of the Zoological Survey of India. India is home to 1353 bird species, which represent approximately 12.4% of the global bird diversity. Of this, 78, that is 5%, is endemic to our country. The highest number of endemic species has been recorded in the Western Ghat with 28 birds. This can be again factually important for the prelims examination. Now, according to the author, जो report release की गई उसमें ये चीजें बताई गई है that 78 species has been recorded in the past few decades. उसमें कुछ 3 ऐसे species हैं that were not reported. So first is Manipur bush quail, which was listed as endangered in IUCN. This is again important, to last seen in 907. Himalayan quail, which was again critically endangered, with last seen in 1876, and Jedon cursor, which is critically endangered, was last confirmed in 2009. So ZIK directors ने point out किया that publications highlight the importance of endemic bird in our country. Now moving ahead with the editorial of the day, the bureaucracy as a prosecutor and a judge. Something important for general studies paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So what I'll be discussing under this editorial, this is first, the theme is the empowering of bureaucracy over the judiciary via Jan Viswas bill. Very important article that has been written, that is looking into the other side of this bill, how it is empowering the part of bureaucrat, overriding the judicial right. So we'll see the issues like conferring power to the bureaucrats, separations of power, attempt to capture the judicial power, and the conclusion part. Now, if you look at the part of bill, that is a Jan Viswas Amendment Bill Provision 2023, which was recently passed by the Lok Sabha during the monsoon session, it aims to give and boost the part of ease of doing business and ease of living, right? The fine print, which has received attentions, while the legislation was mostly replaced by the criminal imprisonment and penalties. जो criminal imprisonment की जाती थी, उसे penalty से replace की गई है, and some power from judiciary has been conferred to the bureaucrat. I'll tell you the detailed part of that as well. The amendment bill has transferred the power to impose the monetary penalties from the judiciary to the bureaucrat. Now, this is the big concern, or you can say the debate that is roaming around with this bill, that is the Jan Viswas bill. Now, conferring power to bureaucrats की बात की गई है under the bill, that is the Jan Viswas Act. The thing that has been incorporated, that it amend the part of Environmental Protection Act of 1986 and Air Prevention Pollution Act 1981, जो replace करती है imprisonment as a punishment for the certain offences with penalties up to 15 lakh rupees that can be imposed by a designated bureaucrats. और उस bureaucrat की जो designation होगी should be none less than joint secretaries, right? It is like a person, an IAS officer who has served more than 15 years in the government of India. 15 years. This is what basically the position is held by the joint secretaries. Now, the other part, the under amendment, the part of the Indian forest, and the forest officers will have the power not to just conduct of the inquiry, and even the damages that is done in the forest will be compensated in the monetary losses, right? And even the question is that whether the bureaucracy rather than the court has the power to adjudicate this matter, or court is the right authority, you can say, when it comes to the part of imposing the penalty or award. This is a big question that is roaming around this. Now, separations of power की बात की गई है. We'll see the constitutional provision also. although the constitution does not mandate the separate power between the judiciary and executive. किसी भी तरह की कोई चीजें मेंशन नहीं की गई. Under Article 50, the state must take necessary steps to separate the judiciary from the executive in public services in this state. This is what has been mentioned under Article 50. If you're writing in mains, make sure you highlight this. Now, separations of power has not achieved until several years of the constitution come into effect, or criminal magistracy was a part of the executive at its independence. Now, it took approximately 1970 की अगर बात करें, several state legislature has come into the effective part for the separations. कुछ example के तौर पे West Bengal Separation of Judicial, Executive and Function Act 1970 was separating the role of judiciary and executive magistrate in the Criminal Procedure Code, that is 1898. Now, attempt to capture the judicial power. This has been the wholesome criticism that is there in this article or in this editorial. So in 1980, the bureaucrat has tried 3 different routes to capture the judiciary. This has been highlighted categorically, historical perspective, important for your knowledge also. So first was when the part of the minister began the judicial tribunal to take over the judicial function and here though by the judiciary, that was actually exercised by the judiciary, but it was overtaken somewhere by the part of the bureaucratic. Now most of this tribunal that was created in the manner was given bureaucratic the power and opportunity to be appointed as a tribunal and a technical member. Now the second attempt was by the union government that calls for creating a statutory regulators such as SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India. उसके अलावे कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया बनाई गई जहाँ पे डिसीजन के लिए जो ऑफिसर्स होते हैं मोस्टली दे आर फ्रॉम द इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विसेज और द IAS. They are heading the part. Now virtually all this regulation has ended up with the senior bureaucrats. Third, the union government has started creating the role of adjudicatory officers, that is the legislation such as Prevention for Money Laundering Act and Information Act and the Food Safety Act. Now these adjudicating officers are also bureaucrat who are given the power either to confirm the attachment order or for the property to impose the penalty for the businesses. Now to conclude the part, Jan Viswas की shortcoming की अगर बात करें, it has a positive side. See, everything has a positive as well as for the negative side. But यहाँ पे negative जो bureaucratic power है उसके बारे में ज़्यादा highlight की गई है. The Jan Viswas carries forward the specific model of creating the adjudicatory officer within the bureaucracy to impose the penalties. The larger issue must be worry about the Republic of India and backsiding the separations of power, because the constant efforts by the bureaucrat and the union executive to encroach upon the judicial power and aid the elected minister who are different from the part and they are even clueless of the fact. Now the Jan Viswas bill allow the bureaucratic in charge to enforce the law and also conduct inquiry and impose statutory penalties on pending wrongdoing that is there on the constitutional aspect. So we need to definitely maintain the balance. The expert in the field should be given the highest power to decide upon the award and to decide upon the penalties. Even if a bureaucrat has a fair amount of experience, he can proceed, but ultimately it calls that judiciary, who are the people who are actually have a legitimate right and even a fair idea, which has been practicing for a long time, would be a right person to practice upon this, right? So this is how you can conclude. Moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day, before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. That is for the Saturday, the correct option is C. And this is for the first question, and for the second question, the correct option is D. Today's MCQ for practice, आपको National Center for Good Governance के बारे में बताना है. It's an autonomous institution under the Department for Administrative Reform, Public Grievances Ministry and the part of pensions. It is governed by the governing body, which is headed by the Cabinet Secretary. Do check out for the correct option. Second is about the Wagi. It has superior features with the advanced acoustic absorption technique. And this was the first ceremony that was commercialized in December 2017. So do check out for the correct option. Practicing a lot more current affair question will give you an edge. We have a lot more other platforms where questions are published on daily basis. Do check it out. Practice that lot. That will give you an added advantage. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any queries about admissions, test series, courses, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.